Hiya hustlers, welcome back to our channel. I am Candy, one half of Candy and Kelly, which you should know by now if you've been around a little while. To our new subscribers, welcome, and anyone that's viewing this video, we hope you like what you see. So now I've got my new kitchen all sorted, I feel a bit fancy. And I've said before, when I get back into my baking and my cooking and stuff like that, and we're very much on a frugal mindset. That's not just a new thing, that's obviously the way that we wanted to be living going forward. Slow living, not wasting anything, and we are essentially building this frugal homestead from scratch. Just to say, excuse the noise in the background, we've got the washing machine going at the moment. That should go off in a bit. So, this afternoon, well, we've been pretty busy the last couple of days since we spoke to you last time. Mentioned that we're doing a boot sale. So we're having to get all the stuff prepared, get the car loaded up, and it's going to be a very early morning tomorrow. So what I'm doing today, now this is country life to a T. Now can I just say, we're building this frugal homestead from scratch. I've not even grown anything yet, and that is where that question comes back and forth. Are we real homesteaders because we're not growing our own stuff, but we're living the life, that type of thing. We're getting there. We're making steps and plans, and we're doing stuff to get us to that point where next season we can absolutely go for it. But today there's a couple of things. So as I said, we don't want to waste anything. I've got some double cream in the fridge that's coming up to the sell by date, which I know you can freeze it. I've never done that before, so I thought I'd try and hunt around for some recipes with stuff that we've got. And I found a really good recipe for pancakes that I'm going to make, and I'm going to get those all made today and, well, this afternoon, and get them in the freezer. So it's like something we can pull out, toast, you can warm up in the microwave, or you can have them sweet, you can have them savoury, like with eggs and syrup and bacon, that type of stuff. So I need to do that. I've also got some creme fraiche that's coming up, so maybe we need to look at the dates when we're buying dairy stuff, I think, going forward. That will be helpful. I've got some creme fraiche, so I've got some beef that I've taken out the freezer, some it's a flat iron steak, I think. It's been in the freezer for a while, so I've taken that out this morning. That's defrosting as we speak, and I'm going to make a beef stroganoff tonight, so that's using up that. Trying all these different recipes, also stuff that we like as well, not just wasting things and throwing it, which old us, we were pretty good to be fair, but you know, old us might have just seen the date and thought, nah, that's going in the bin. But the exciting thing that I wanted to share today, so it's an afternoon for me in the kitchen. Now I feel like I can really get involved. And I've been doing cooking the whole way along. Right, you've seen the renovation of the kitchen, everything. The oven went in, the cooker went in. I've been cooking quite adequately, no problem at all. But now I'm kind of getting those vibes back where I think I could spend a good few hours getting recipes done, getting cooking, some batch cooking and stuff like that. But now I've got all this space now, so I'm able to spend a bit of time. This is homestead life, right, and country life, and you just so happen to pop into a neighbour and then you get given these. Let me show you. We have got a glut of cooking apples. Now, I've said before that I'm better at cooking and recipes where you can just chuck stuff in as opposed to baking, but I'm not going to let those go to waste. That is what we want to do here, and I can't wait. And you know, we get so much of our neighbours, and they're so great. We've fallen into such a good community. I cannot wait though until we can do the bartering the other way around, because we're not actually bartering at the minute, we're just taking stuff, which I feel quite bad about. That's just me though, but I've assured our neighbour that when we do start growing everything, there's going to be a lot of stuff going their way as well. So obviously apples, not a massive apple fan. Like, I wouldn't choose to just eat an apple. I think I've said before, I'm not really a fruit person, as you can see. But I've seen a few recipes that I want to try. Now, the easy one is obviously apple crumble. I can manage that definitely. So I'm going to get a couple of crumbles done. I've seen another recipe which is like an apple walnut loaf cake, which I want to try as well. I've seen another recipe as well which is like flapjacks, and I've got some in the preps. You do tend to prep stuff that you actually eat regularly, obviously, that's the best thing to do. But for some reason in our preps, as we're kind of going down the preps and getting to stuff that's been at the back and been there a while, we've got some peanut butter protein powder. And I've seen a couple of recipes that you can use that with some cakes as well. So I'm going to see what I can do. This is not a cooking channel by any stretch of the imagination, literally. But I'm definitely going to make use of these apples. You know, they've come to us for nothing. I will be making a crumble for my neighbour as well, so you will get that. But this is what it is. It's about, and this is going to take me a good few hours. I've got to sort through all the apples. I've got to peel them. I've got to chop them. I know people do this all day long, and it's not a big thing. So excuse me when I'm saying that this is really different to how our life we lived our life before, because we were stuck in the 9 to 5, because we were stuck just earning money and working ourselves into the ground. You wouldn't have time, or you wouldn't really think, oh, I've got all these apples. I'm telling you now, if we had all these apples on our land, going forward obviously we'd be utilising them. But if this was back in the day, and I say back in the day like it was a long time ago, literally like 18 months ago, we would have just been like, oh, it's nice that we're growing these apples, but what are we going to do with them? And they would have just got left, and they would have got thrown in the bin or nothing. We might have attempted to do something with them, but they never would have got used. We can't afford to have that mindset now. You know, I can prep a lot of stuff. I can put stuff in the freezer. I can make stuff that we can have as desserts. I can make little sweet treats, and that's something I really want to get to. I want to get to a point where, you know, you just fancy a sweet treat or something like that, and you're not reaching for a chocolate bar or going to the shop to get chocolate, but you're opening your like cake tin, and you've got some like nice little like flapjacks or some apple turnovers or just something. I'm using apples as an example, but for everything. And that's the mindset we need to have. We're getting out of the system. We're always going to be in the system. I've said that before, but I'm just going to enjoy an afternoon of seeing what I can come up with these apples. And I'm learning as I go along. Look, everything is not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect, I don't think. What is perfect and what is normal? Who says what's normal and what's not? But this is the life that we want to live, and we've got to invest our time and effort into trying to live this way. It's not always the easy option. In fact, living a homestead life and kind of living out the system is not the easy option at all. It's actually probably it is. Probably about it is a much harder option. But there's so much more reward that comes from it. So I'm going to crack on. I'm not going to show you every single step of the way, but I'll keep checking in and out, and hopefully that you'll see some good ideas when you're growing your own, or if you have an abundance, or if you have a glut of anything. You can get some ideas for trying some of these recipes, and you can see how they come out at the end, because I will definitely show how they do come out in the end. So let's get through this glut of apples. Right, so that's the amount I'm left with, and I've sorted out the ones that were a little bit past their best. Got that big bowl left still. I'm going to find it a struggle to get through all of these, I'm sure. But I'm going to get all these washed, peeled, cored, chopped, and then we'll see what we're going to start doing with them. Right, hustlers, empty bowl. The apples are all peeled. There's all the bits. I'm sure in the future, when we're a bit more established here on the homestead, that I'll find different things to do with those bits as well. I was starting to regret some of my life decisions while I started peeling that. It took me over an hour to get all them peeled, and learnt a couple of lessons along the way. So one is I need to have a proper apple corer. Did all these by hand, and that's probably why it took me a long time. But like I say, I've never really processed apples before, so I'm going to invest in one of them. Need to pick one of them up. Two, which I'm learning every single day here on the homestead, that everything takes double the amount of time at least that you think it is going to take, and it's taken me a while. And three, unfortunately my back is not as good as I thought it was. I know I've had a bad back. You've seen in a couple of videos back I was really struggling. It has made my back really ache standing up doing this for over an hour, but I need to keep pushing forward and strengthening my back, because there's going to be a lot more strenuous jobs than this on the homestead. So I've got my apples chopped, I've got my oven preheating. Let me just take that off the stove so you can see. So they're all going. They've got some light brown sugar in there. They're starting to oh, they smell gorgeous. So they're starting to get nice and caramelised. I'm going to add a bit of cinnamon, quite a bit of cinnamon, and a little bit of nutmeg as well. Oh, not as much nutmeg as the cinnamon. I might even add some more cinnamon, it depends. But I know we're still probably like in summer. I'm just getting, as soon as I smell cinnamon, I don't know about you, but the smell of cinnamon gets me in the autumnal and Christmassy vibes. So I've done the whole lot of apples there, out of the good ones that I could use anyway, and there's quite a big batch there, so I'm hoping that I can get a couple of crumbles at least and some other bits and bobs using the same mixture, which is essentially what I would use in different mixture anyways, a different kind of cake or whatever, so there's no point in me doing separate batches. I have got this that I needed to use up, that was in the freezer actually. Some puff pastry, like ready rolled. Yes, I am going to get to be doing my own pastry and everything like that, but for the purpose of this video and using up, I'm using up another thing to make some room in the freezer for us. So I think just on the subject of how long it took me to do this, like I say, this is not a cooking channel, so I'm not going to be showing you every step of the way. I'll just show you little bits and bobs while I'm having a chat. I don't want this to be a cooking channel. There will be times where I'm showing how to be frugal with food and stuff like that, and what I'm learning. I'm not a professional, I'm not a chef, and I'm not in any way kind of certified to tell people what to do with their food. This is just us as beginners building this frugal homestead from scratch and learning as we go along, and if we can get people to follow along the way, then all the better. But I will be showing different recipes. But yeah, just saying how long that took to prepare all that. I mean, that's why there's convenience food, right? I would never have done this in my old life. I would never have had the time to spend a couple of hours just pottering around getting bits done because we didn't want to use them. They'd just be in the bin, quite frankly. And that is what the system is designed to make us feel like that. Like you're eating convenience food, so you feel like crap. You're not well, so you have to have all this medication. Like this is not me. This is like long term. The government, I think, and the system is, and I'm not going to get conspiratorial now, but they're just, it's not. We're not meant to be worker ants. This is not what we're meant to do. Don't get me wrong. We absolutely need income, and you need money to survive in this world. I'd be stupid if I said that we didn't. But I mean, I'm making a few bits here. Oh, they're looking, smelling gorgeous. I'm getting all this done, but previously if I fancy something like that, it would be what, a McDonald's apple pie? Why? when I've got all this stuff. These apples cost me nothing, and what I'm making with them is just from stuff that's lying around in the prepper pantry or in the freezer or in the fridge that needs using up. And the system is designed to make us feel like we shouldn't be doing this. We haven't got time because we're constantly at work, and then you want to have convenience food at the end. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of graft involved in doing this, but like I said earlier, it's much more rewarding. And if you're working like round the clock and you're burning out and everything like that, you don't want to be spending a couple of hours, and that is what the system is designed to make us do. And don't get me wrong, I'm still quite partial to a dirty kebab or stuff like that, and a burger, and I'm sure I will have one of them in the future. But just making little adjustments, and this is about us changing our life and our way of thinking, and kind of getting back to the earth. And it's just amazing. I just really enjoy sharing all these thoughts with you like this. It just came to me, like, convenience food obviously is there for a reason. It's to get us trapped, it's to get us addicted. I'm not coming off convenience food, not that I'm properly addicted to it. Well, I probably am in some ways, to be fair, but we've seen since we've moved more rural, our life has changed dramatically in terms of takeaways and stuff. I mean, where we was before in Essex, we had instant gratification. We could go straight on, right, we're hungry, Uber Eats, boom, everywhere. But here, where we are, where we're based, don't think anywhere delivers from Uber Eats. So we've hardly had any takeaway since we've been here since Feb, and if we do, it's probably normally a bag of chips because we're quite near the coast. But yeah, that is what the system is making us feel like, and this is what I want to get back to. I want to get back to doing kind of baking and prepping all the food and growing our own. And obviously we're very much at the start of this journey, and there's going to be a lot of people out there that are a lot further ahead, and so many accomplished growers and gardeners, and for that I commend you, and I can only aspire to be like that one day. And it's not something that happens overnight, it's something that we're having to adjust our lifestyle, we're having to make sacrifices, we're just going to have to keep going with it. But even though this apple crumble and apple pie is getting a bit deep in conversation now, I just wanted to highlight the fact that anyone can make a change, and we've decided to do that. We've put ourselves out there, we've made drastic changes, we've moved away from family and friends and starting a new life, but it's what is right for us. And if anyone does feel in the same boat, like, you just go for it. I can't say that enough, just bloody go for it, really do. So I'm going to let this cook down a little bit, and then we'll see what we can make with it at the end. But again, not a cooking channel, so please be kind. This is just showing what we're doing, what we've got for free, and what we're using up, because we want to live a frugal life, and we are building this frugal homestead right from the bottom up. The other thing as well, while this is bubbling along, it's taking a bit longer than what I thought, and quite frankly, time is of the essence. It's getting late in the day, got things to do, got to pack the car up for the boot sale. This is another thing, and I'm sorry if this video is a bit jumpy, but I keep thinking of things, oh, I want to say that, I want to say that. The other thing, we're doing a boot sale tomorrow, right? We're quite seasoned with doing boot sales, we used to do them quite a bit. Obviously we've never been to a boot sale around this area before, so that's a bit of a novelty. But we're doing one tomorrow. Normally, what do you do when you go to a boot sale? You have a bacon roll or something like that. Well, that absolutely defeats the object. What is the point of that? Because you're just spending money that you're trying to earn, that you're trying to put back in the savings, that you're just spending on a bacon roll. Well, I've got some yellow sticker ciabatta rolls and a bit of corned beef that's left over in the fridge, and some tomatoes from my mum and dad's garden. And I'm going to whip us up a little breakfasty, lunchy thing for the boot sale tomorrow, so we don't have to spend money on stuff while we're there. I just wanted to say that, really. I'm quite proud of us. Right, hustlers, these are all done now. It's not too hot, let me show you. Oh, can you see? Look how good they look. They actually went down to not much once they was all processed. So I've got my trusty fold trays. I'm going to do a couple of crumbles with this. I want to not use all that mix on crumbles, so I'm going to do 2 crumbles. Got some crumble mix in a bowl here. Because I've seen a recipe in between doing all these other bits and bobs today for like, it's like an apple pie, McDonald's apple pie. Not obviously a McDonald's apple pie, but Wild Heart Hustle apple pie. So I'm going to use half of this mixture in the crumbles, and then the other half I'm going to use with the puff pastry. And you're not going to see the finished product of these, maybe one day you will, but basically what you do is you roll out the pastry. I mean, it's already in a roll, so you cut it into bits. Then you put, well, I'm going to have to wait for the apple pie filling to cool down a little bit anyway. Then once it's cool, put it onto the pastry, wrap the pastry over, kind of fork it so it's all stuck together, put that in a tray and then put that in the freezer. Then they stay frozen essentially, and then whenever you want one, you pull it out frozen, and then you just fry it off lightly in a bit of oil. So hopefully one day I'll be able to show you one of them, but I'll show you how I get it together anyway. But again, just to reiterate how long everything takes, I've been in the I was going to say I've been in the oven, I haven't. I've been in the kitchen for a few hours now. So I've made brunch, corned beef rolls for the boot sale tomorrow. I've got all that massive big sack of apples salted and processed and in a lovely delicious smelling concoction there. I'm going to put the crumbles in. Puff pastry is going to go in to make some frozen apple pies, and then I've still got to do pancakes with the double cream that I've got to use, which has got today's date on it. And I've still got to make tonight's dinner, which is beef stroganoff. But I'm not going to show you everything, but I just wanted to say this is where I'm up to. It's been a long day in the kitchen, but I'm really happy that I've finally got my kitchen to how I love it. Apart from along there, the shelves need to go up, and I must say they arrived while I've been filming this video, so hopefully they'll be up within the next few days, and I will show you what these crumbles look like when they come out. Right, hustlers, the crumbles are out. As you just saw, they look amazing. If there was only a smell-o-vision, because the smell is beautiful. I obviously been in the kitchen for a few hours doing all them apples. I've got my pot of apple filling. Oh, so nice, you could eat it just like that. I've left this, I'm going to let that cool down before I do the other pastry bit. So I'm going to put them in the fridge because I'm not going to get a chance to do them tonight, but that will be there ready for when I get back from the boot sale tomorrow. So I'm going to do that. I have just prepped, and if you can see, oh, there you go, my mix for the pancakes. Not very good camera work there, apologies. So I've done my mix for the pancakes, using up double cream. So I use double cream, flour, baking powder, and a little bit of sugar and salt in there, and a little bit of vanilla extract as well. So I'm going to get some pancakes done as well. Lunch is done for tomorrow for the boot sale. I say lunch, it'll probably about 7 in the morning, where when you know when you've got food and you're like, can I eat now? I never normally eat this time of day, but because I'm up at the crack of dawn, I'll probably have them early. And I've still got to do, I'm looking at it now, what is it? Beef stroganoff, which I'm going to use up the creme fraiche. So an abundance of dairy, a glut of apples that we got for free. And I hope, like I say, not a cooking show, but I hope I've just shown you that, you know, put a bit of time and effort into something. And I'm by no means an expert, and I'm not preaching to anyone because we are completely new to this lifestyle. I'm just sharing my journey and what it means for us personally, and I'm just proud of myself that I'm starting to change the mindset, and I've got more time that I can concentrate on the important things in life, or the things that we think are important anyway. So that is health, your well-being, your body, your soul, all of that jazz. That is what I'm focusing on. That is what I'm concentrating on for me, not on other people like I normally do, especially in my role, taking on all the other people's problems and dealing with that, although I loved it at the time because they were my team and I loved them. This is my time now, and so that's over and out from me on Wild Heart Hustle Homestead. I'm a bit sweaty now as well. The oven's been on for a while, so we're gonna drop a crumble round to my neighbour and probably some pancakes as well, and that's us. So thank you for following along. I know I ramble. I know sometimes people are probably thinking, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? You don't do it like that. You don't do it like that. Look, this is a real life journey. We've come out the system. We're trying stuff that we've never done before. And I'm sure there's lots of other ways that we can do things. But for us, this is right at the right time, the right moment and the right pace. So thank you, hustlers. Appreciate it. And if you want to kind of give us a comment or check in, please do. You can do that down below. I always reply to all the comments. We've had a flurry of new subscribers lately, so welcome and thank you so much for following along. Hit the notification bell if you want to see the next video. That'll be coming out in a few days, and I'm hoping to keep sharing content with you as we're building this frugal homestead from scratch. Right, I'm off for a shower and then I'm going to get ready for dinner, and then we are going to be up. The alarm's at 4 AM. See you later, hustlers.